This is a Harper Guys production.
The Harper contains foul language and adult material. If you are easily offended and thin-skinned, you should hit the stop button now. And if you are not a complete idiot, let's get this party started.
Let's get down to brass tacks, gentlemen. If I was informed correctly, the clock is ticking. Is that right, Jimmy?
But good luck arguing that in court. Let me get down to brass tacks.
Listen, let's get down to brass tacks here. How much for the ape?
Jack, let's just cut the crap and get down to brass tacks here.
Are you hating on Neil Diamond?
Holy fuck Neil Diamond.
Our dream of deathmatch is going to come to fruition, and my golden ticket is going to pay off. Hoo-ah. Don't you fucking hoo-ah me, motherfucker.
I want the ability to time travel.
Dumb. This is stupid. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Jake. With me, as always, my co-host Adam.
That's right.
Short little PSA to get started, and we are jumping the fuck in.
Let's fucking do this shit.
Here we go.
Put my spectacles on and everything.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The old testicle spectacle, huh?
Yeah. Welcome to the number one common sense podcast in the world. Let's get ready to mumble. Episode 114. Please visit us at theharperguys.com. There you can also find our Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube links. You can also listen to us anywhere podcasts are found. Ideas, complaints, or just looking to say, what's up? Email us at theharperguys@gmail.com.
Giggity. Here we go.
Almost nailed that.
It was pretty close,
I
man.
was practicing all night.
Were you really?
No.
I was going to say, you have to practice that?
Before we get started, is this a Bushmaster
450 round. It is.
I'm getting so schooled on these
Yes.
armaments.
Yes, that is the Bushmaster. Yeah.
Bushmaster.
The Master.
That's
Yeah.
a Beastie Boys song.
Beastie Boys. So what do you want to jump into to start the evening off?
I don't fucking
What are you
know.
feeling? Here's something funny.
Fucking computer.
Did you see what happened with fucking Klay Thompson last night?
I didn't, but I saw.
Fucking hilarious.
See, throughout the day, I'll periodically swipe left on my phone, which is a news feed.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, something like that will pop up, and I'm like, oh, but I don't ever go into it. So
Yeah.
I didn't go into it, but I saw they got a fight going on.
Oh, it was fucking awesome. So I think that you share my dislike of Klay Thompson.
Out of all of them, I liked him the most.
That's dumb.
I know.
He is the most passive-aggressive, makes these snidey little fucking... He was the one talking shit to LeBron with the 3-1 fucking lead. Like, fuck that guy. You listen to people, like, he's the first guy to fucking stay out on the wing and not be in the fucking middle of the shit, but he's the first one fucking running his fucking pie hole out there. Well, find out after the game, because everybody's like, oh my God, Klay didn't do anything. Poor Klay getting his little jersey ripped. Man, Draymond had to come in and save him. Man. Yeah, fuck that.
Meh.
You find out after the game, he's fucking talking mad shit. The guy got fucking tired of it. Fucking swung him around a little bit. It fucking took 13 years into your career, pal. You fucking deserved it. Fuck you, Klay fucking Thompson.
You fucking mook.
Fucking Klay Thompson. Fuck you, Klay Thompson. If it wasn't for fucking Steph Curry, you wouldn't have a fucking career. Draymond did the dirty work. Steph gets the fucking girls. You're that shitbag. You're what Scottie Pippen would have been with fucking Down syndrome. That's what fucking Klay Thompson is. The biggest
That's
fucking
a little harsh.
The biggest fucking poser in the fucking history of the fucking league.
Did he dress up as Aaron Rodgers? Is that why you're pissed for Halloween?
Dude, you know what? We've talked about this. I don't hate Aaron Rodgers anymore. Aaron Rodgers don't pay for the fucking shitbag Packers anymore.
Come on.
Let's go. Aaron Rodgers talking about being back for Thanksgiving if the fucking Jets are still in it. Fucking from an Achilles tear. What?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's one other fun thing. I'll jump in real quick because we don't need to spend a lot of time on it. But please tell me you saw that we had the world's funniest fucking Achilles tear of all time this week.
No.
Did you see this?
I don't know.
You know who Megan Rapinoe is?
I mean, the name sounds familiar.
Purple hair soccer player.
Yes.
Loves Daniil. right?
Okay.
So she fucks up the World Cup. You know what I mean? So we fucking lose the World Cup because she sucks. So her very last professional game with her club team, 3 minutes in, tears her fucking, whatchamacallit, ruptures or whatchamacallit, Achilles.
Hoochie nanner.
Yeah, who fucking her Achilles. And then you know what she came out afterwards and said?
What?
This just proves that there's not a God. Why? Because he didn't have your back on this one? America hater. So
Jesus Christ.
yeah. So
This proves there's not a God.
Right.
Oh, and I'm going to interject a little bit there.
do it, man. Fly in.
About God, praying, and sports. Don't fucking do it.
Why?
You see these ladies and some guys when the game's on the line and they show them on the sidelines. And don't pray to God for your fucking team.
That don't
God
bother me.
has so much more fucking shit to do than he don't care about sports.
That's their comfort place, though.
He doesn't care about sports. Now, when
You don't know that.
the dude fucking gets freaking possibly paralyzed on the field, put him together, pray all you want for that fella, that poor bastard that's hoping to walk again sometime soon.
Yeah.
But don't pray for your fucking team to win.
Yeah.
Just root for your team.
I'm gonna tell you what, dude. The fucking memes have been fucking brutal for fucking that this week. Have you
For
seen
who?
that? For DeMar Hamlin.
Oh, no.
Did you see what happened at the end of the Monday night game?
I didn't.
So
I quit watching.
Buffalo's playing the Broncos, right?
I did know that.
So end of the game, Broncos line up for a 41-yard field goal to win it. Push it wide right. 12 men on the field. 12th man on the field was, say it,
Oh, no.
DeMar Hamlin.
Oh, no.
Dude, the why didn't you just stay dead memes?
No.
Oh, dude, they're so bad. Like, it's one of those things that's like it's one of those that's like, it's so bad, I didn't even laugh at it. I'm like, that's fucked up, man. Like the whole world thought that we saw somebody die on national television. You know what I mean? And, like, for that guy to be okay and then, like, to be back on a field playing, you know what I mean?
I mean, I'm going to say I probably didn't really, like, focus in on watching football till I was, like, 7 or 8.
yeah.
But, so let's say 40 years, I've never seen somebody almost die on a football field.
Right. I mean, we've seen legs go the wrong direction and, like, fucked up compound injuries. You know what I mean? But, like, never anything like that.
No.
You know? So I was super disappointed. And, like, it's all these Buffalo pages, you know what I mean? Like, people that are supposedly fucking fans. But they're as bad as the fucking Browns fans this week. I'm fucking so over fucking Browns fans, man. Your fucking quarterback fucking was 29 to 33 before he got hurt. He gets fucking hurt. Everybody's acting like he's not really fucking hurt. He comes back, plays that Baltimore game, fucked up his foot in the first fucking half, goes 14 for 14 in the second half, including the
had
13-yard run that won the game.
Yeah.
I mean, that rush, the team rushed for 12 yards.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it helped, but he put you in field goal range,
Dude.
with his legs at the end of the game. That dude played his fucking nuts off for that team, and now people are like, oh, it must be nice to not have to fucking work and get paid. He fucking underwent shoulder surgery today.
Today. It's not like he's sitting around.
That's what I'm saying. And, like, he wants to be out there. Like, because here's the thing. I get so fucking tired of all these people that are like, oh, he's getting paid. You shouldn't have guaranteed him all that money. Fuck that. You did what you had to get the guy here. And I'm going to tell you what, whether it works out this year or not, if there's one thing you saw in that Baltimore game last week, that guy can win you fucking games.
Yeah.
Your defense still has to show up. It's a team sport. But when you have a quarterback that can actually make fucking plays, like, the guy's fucking worth the money. And these guys don't operate on the fucking money baseline. They make offseason decisions based on money. His ego is so fucking big. He wants to be out there. He wants to win. You don't think that he wants to be in that same conversation with the Joe Burrows and the Patrick Mahomes for guys that actually win shit? Like, this guy don't want to not be playing. So all these fucking Browns fans that are trying to shit on him because of it, he fucking left his body out on the field for that fucking team.
I didn't shit on him.
Dude, but it's rampant, dude. It's so fucking annoying. Like, goddamn, your team is 6-3. Like,
Listen,
fuck.
those aren't real Browns fans.
Man.
I'm going to get after that. They're not real Browns fans. Those are fair weather fans
Ugh.
that sit around and look at news media things about how many, draft picks we had to give up and how much we're paying him. All that stupid bullshit.
Right.
The guy is a gamer. He's never won a Super Bowl. He'd like to win a Super Bowl.
Right.
To be in that group of conversations. Listen, at the end of the day, you can make all the money in the world. You're only going to be remembered if you win it all.
Right. At least get close.
Well, he might be remembered for a few,
If he can get
happy
you to
endings.
But if he can get you to a Super Bowl though,
yeah.
even if you don't win it, if he can get you to the bowl.
So,
But everybody's bitching, 3 first-round picks. You know who those 3 first-round picks could have been? Tim Couch, Brandon Whedon, and fucking Johnny Manziel.
Yep.
So don't fucking bitch to me about the first-round picks, because first-round picks, if you look at the history of the last 30 years...
Who was the first round last year? He's not doing as well as number 2.
That's what I'm saying. Like, first-round picks, they're literally 50-50. Like, you go every year. You go top to bottom of the first round of a draft, half those guys pan out, and half of them fucking never really do.
Right.
So anybody that fucking that calls themselves a Browns fan, I'm a Bear fan first, 100%. You know, but like the Browns are my other team, you know, because they're local. Anybody shitting on him, fuck you. Like it's just not. It's just not fucking cool.
It's stupid. And I'll tell you what. Look at the record. 5-1 when he starts.
Right. And the only loss was the fucked up game that everybody felt weird about from fucking Chubb getting his knee blown out. If Chubb don't get blown out, they win that game by 30 fucking points.
Exactly.
Like that game was already starting to get out of hand.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they punched that fucking touchdown in, a couple more stops. The way that offense was fucking rolling. I mean, that dude was getting fucking man-on-man coverage.
That was the first game I've ever watched, and as soon as Chubb got hurt, I literally felt like almost like not only did I get punched in the gut,
like you got the air knocked out of you.
Like I didn't know. I've never felt that before.
I know.
I was like, well, it's way too early for this to be happening, and you just heard the toilet flushing.
Right.
Like there it went.
And I hate to say it, but like nobody was looking at Ford as an actual option at that point in time. You know, Hunt wasn't even on the fucking roster. So it's like, what the fuck are we going to do tonight? Not fucking worried about tomorrow or next week. And it just didn't fucking work out. It still ended up being a really close game. And Pittsburgh's not dog shit. Whether everybody loves to hate on him or not.
Kenny Pickett's not the answer, though.
But Kenny Pickett ain't losing games.
No.
And there's times that teams need a quarterback that's what they're doing. Their offensive line, I don't know if nobody's fucking talking about this. Pittsburgh's made 2 really good draft picks on their offensive line. Their fucking left tackle that is a rookie is a fucking stud. Dude, do you think that it's by accident that they have a running game again? They actually have an offensive line for the first time in 6 fucking years. Dude, Jalen Warren.
Where was that early? Because they didn't have a running game early.
But he was. Dude,
or at the end of last year.
But those two guys are so young. That offensive line's coming along. I mean, it's going to be a really good test for the Browns' defensive line this week. But it's like, don't be shitting on Pittsburgh. Already beat Baltimore too.
Oh, I know. Listen, I'm going to shit on Pittsburgh whether they're good or not.
What I'm saying is,
I'm really good at that.
But people that think, oh, this Pittsburgh team is like complete dog shit because Kenny Pickett isn't a great fantasy football quarterback.
Listen.
Ain't paying attention.
I'm not that stupid.
Right.
Because defense wins championships, and they've always had a good defense. So that alone keeps them in the game.
Did you know that with Kenny Pickett under center over the last 2 seasons, Kenny Pickett has more fourth quarter comeback victories than any quarterback in the league?
The thing about Kenny Pickett is, for some reason, he does play well in the fourth quarter.
He does. And he throws the ball away a lot. Like he's not a fucking turnover machine. Like he's Jacoby Brissett with a little better front office. You know? Yeah. So anyway, not to go crazy on sports at the beginning, but it's like holy shit.
I wanted to
these
talk,
motherfuckers.
I didn't really want to get into the whole thing. I mean, I was going to talk about the roller coaster of the Browns. We might as well just talk about it right now.
Okay.
That Browns game and the season for that point has just been a roller coaster.
That game was fun though.
That game, I'm going to tell you what, me and my son watching it, and every single, the old Browns, we'll call them the old Browns, the Browns that they would make a 20-yard run and then there'd be a flag, all that shit. A lot of teams go through that, but it seemed like every time there was something great, it was like, no, it's not.
Right.
And as soon as Prochet dropped that fucking ball, because as soon as he catches the ball, we have a chance to go drive and
take the lead,
make it a 7-point game.
No, it's already a 7-point game.
So probably tied, right?
Yeah.
And then that happens, and the defense could have fell down because they just had an immaculate stop. Worked their asses off. Had an immaculate stop. I mean, anything that's not a field goal attempt against them because they got the amazing fucking Tucker. But then it took Baltimore 7 plays to make 12 yards. And that was after 2 stops, 2 third-down stops. And I'm going to tell you what, the officiating is still as horrible as I've ever seen. I think there was the JOK holding in the end zone was legit. That was 100% legit.
Yeah.
But
the other one I didn't like.
There was a Newsom call.
I didn't like that one at all.
There was another one, and I'm just like, these guys aren't even, it's not legit. I don't know where it's coming from. But anyways, so with all those almost stops and then finally giving up the touchdown, That defense could have just fucking packed it in. But if you watch the edge on every single one of those snaps, they are fucking dominating. I mean, it is like the pocket is collapsing every single play. I mean, yeah, Jackson's good enough to get away from a few of them, but he didn't get away from very many. And I was stunned. And then, of course, when the extra point is missed.
Oh, then you're thinking it's back to
then I'm like,
1999 again.
Here we go. But what is up with Baltimore not sitting on that and just running like they usually do? I'm pretty sure it was because those first down runs that they tried to, they got fucking stuffed for 4 yards, and then they're like, fuck, we have to pass. So Jim Schwartz, hats off to him. He's going to keep us in some games, even with the third string or the third or second string quarterback, whoever fucking goes. I'm not expecting much anymore. So if we win games, it'll be a fucking blessing.
I mean, I will say this. Your schedule
is not bad.
Like, if you're going to take a run with one of these two quarterbacks that needs to really have it figured out by playoff time, you've got the schedule to do it. God, you should thank God that you don't have Cincinnati or Buffalo schedule. Dude, Cincinnati's in trouble.
Well, so is
in real trouble.
Baltimore's schedule is very tough.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
And they play Cincinnati twice.
Right.
And San Francisco, who's going to figure it out again.
But they have, dude. Did you see San Francisco this week?
Yeah, they blew it up.
Fucked up Jacksonville. And Jacksonville was like one of the hotter teams in the league.
But
you know,
that's also football. Jacksonville can come out this week and be just fine.
Agreed.
It's very interesting, though. I know you said that DTR is going to start Sunday. I did not hear that. But if number 2 plays or has to play, or if they figure out by halftime it's not working, whatever. Who is it? I've already lost his name.
PJ Walker.
Without a stupid mistake in the fourth quarter where he threw a ball off somebody's helmet, which was horribly, I think it was even third down.
But that whole fourth quarter, he didn't play well. He fucking missed 2 big throws in that fourth quarter. I'm just saying.
If he doesn't make that one mistake,
they win that game.
We're talking literally a home run pitch. If he doesn't make that one mistake, we win that game. He's 3-0 as a starter. So, to me, that's a silver lining. But still,
a lot of talk about them. Like, so Stefanski also said that they're still looking to add a quarterback.
Well,
so here's the question for you. You got about $12 million that's just sitting there unused. Do you give it to Tom for 10 games?
Tom's not coming back.
Would you want that if he was open to it?
Yes. Who's stupid enough to say no?
It'd be some crazy shit, wouldn't
Tom was not coming back for that.
I'm just saying, if Tom's ever going to come back, this would be the situation. A veteran-led team that's stacked on the defensive side of the ball.
Can you imagine that?
But that has a schedule that you can win in?
Can you imagine that? Tom Brady wins his, 8th championship?
With his third team?
With his third team.
Holy shit.
And he only played 7 games.
So, but like the problem is, like, they're talking about adding a quarterback. I don't know if you've looked at like potential, like who is even a potential.
Well, I wonder if they're kicking themselves in the ass for getting rid of Dobbs.
I think that's fair right now because he's going to lead Minnesota to the playoffs.
But I don't think here's my honest assessment. I don't think Dobbs plays that well here. I think he's doing well because I think Minnesota, for some reason, it's a good fit for him.
But he was playing well for the Cardinals.
Yeah, he was.
I think he.
But sometimes
I think he plays better than Walker. I think that it was one of those things where
maybe
they could get a draft pick for Dobbs, where they probably couldn't have got a draft pick for Walker.
Probably.
They didn't really look at them as being a whole lot different because nobody has seen Dobbs play this much in the league, especially like as a guy like, hey, you're starting games, like we're expecting you to go out there and lead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like he's showing that on some level he can play.
I would agree with that. But yeah, I think there's probably a little bit of.
I think they're kicking themselves for not getting Jacoby back in a trade.
Yeah.
They could have given probably a 5th, 6th round pick, something like that.
Oh, the trade deadline's over, isn't it?
Yeah. So like, dude, like the guys that you're looking at, man, Cam Newton, Flacco, Matt Ryan. I mean, like they're just.
You think they're really looking at those guys?
Nick Foles.
Shit, Matt Ryan wouldn't be bad.
But Matt Ryan in Indianapolis last year to finish his career was fucking.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the other teams.
Now let me throw one more crazy name out there for you.
Yeah.
Would you be down?
Don't even say it.
He's been gone. This guy's been gone for 2 years. So he hasn't played a snap in 2 years. But the last year he played, he didn't play bad. Phil Rivers.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, that's better than what I thought you were going to say.
Oh, do you think I was going like Ben or something like that?
He would never come here anyways.
No. But like, if you can get Phil or Tom, I think you do it. No Newton. Dude, Newton's shoulder is so fucked. That's why he's out of the league now.
Yeah.
People are like, oh my God, we could get Cam Newton. No, dude. Newton's shoulder is
how
fucked.
many emails do you think Afro Man sent in?
Oh, I'm sure a few. Now, you know the other name I saw, but
What's his name?
Kaepernick.
Yeah, Kaepernick.
You know the other name that's flown around a little bit, but like there's no way he would leave because he played his whole career with basically one team. Well, no, he actually played his career with two teams, but all of his success was one team. Breeze. So there's a few far reaches out there.
Yeah, a lot of those guys are like 40 plus. I know.
But I think that Drew Brees at 43 can play 10 games. You know these guys don't get out of shape.
I mean,
You know Drew Brees ain't walking around 240 with a beer belly slinging high life, 12 hours a day. But you know he ain't doing that. Like, and dude, Brady. But you see the commercial Brady was in about like joking about like unretiring? That dude's in incredible shape.
Well, yeah.
Like, I'm just saying.
And he's got a problem anyways.
I would love to see Cleveland make a big move to at least short up, to at least give yourself a fucking option. Because, dude, this team gets to fucking 11-6, something like that. They're in the playoffs, and all you need is a chip and a chair in the playoffs, man. You almost had Kansas City beat a couple years ago. Buffalo don't look like Buffalo. Cincinnati ain't Cincinnati. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of teams in the AFC. I mean, fucking Miami can't beat anybody with a fucking winning record. Like Baltimore's got problems. There's other than Kansas City, I don't look at any team in the AFC right now as being like lights out.
It's funny though. There have been a few teams in the history, and I'm talking baseball, I'm talking football, that lose stars and they go on to win championships.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember when it happened to the Giants?
No.
When Phil Simms got hurt?
No.
Jeff Hostetler comes in midway through the season, career backup in year like 12 in his career, had started like 2 games in his whole career. Comes in, leads them Super Bowl championship over the Bills.
And we saw it in Philly.
Yeah.
Who was the miracle man there? I forgot his name.
Foles. He's
Um,
available.
Would that be something?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like there's options out there. They got to get something to shore up the room a little bit.
Well, you can't go with these two guys because one of them gets hurt. You know what we're turning into?
Then you're back to one.
You know what we're turning into? San Francisco last year.
Yeah, just running out of quarterbacks.
Man.
Right.
And I
it's so
laughed,
fucked
I
up.
laughed so hard about that, but man, it is our reality. I'm not saying the Browns at this point. I have no faith that they're going to go and make it deep into the playoffs. But with the defense, you always have a chance.
Always have a chance. And if your offense can get anything going, I mean, they can still run the football. You still got, dude, Cooper.
Oh my
Cooper
God.
looks amazing. There's so
How
much.
good is Cooper?
Dude, there's so much talk about them cutting him in the offseason because of how much money he's owed. Fuck that. You cannot cut that fucking guy. He is your downfield passing game.
Because he's old? They don't
No,
throw.
not because he's old. Because next year I think he's gonna make 19 or 20 million next year.
I'm going to tell you what. I'm schooling my son on all this shit. And
Yeah.
he picks it up like fucking, he's picking it up and dropping it down.
Yeah.
And every time Moore catches the fucking ball, he wants to go east and west. I mean, it's instant. He wants to go 3 or 4 yards east and west, and then he gets tackled. It's like, so as soon as that dumbass catches the ball, we're both screaming at the run it up the field, you retard. Just do it. And he actually did a couple times this past game. And we're like, wow. Because you know what? We don't have a number 2, or at least they don't utilize one. They got rid of Peoples-Jones.
He wasn't doing shit anyway.
Well, they weren't throwing him the ball. So, I mean, I like Peoples-Jones. He can catch the fucking ball. But you got to throw it to him, so I can see why they got rid of him. But what, for a 6th-round pick? How stupid is that?
But they weren't going to re-sign him. He's at the end of his rookie contract. You're not going to re-sign the guy. The idea is to get a draft pick for a guy that you're not utilizing.
I understand, but throw him the ball. So now they've got – so if I was a guy like Tillman, the rookie, that they're just – he's in the formations.
And Watson was trying to get him the ball. He threw him a couple deep balls last week.
He threw him three targets. I checked it out. But it's like – if I was Tillman, I'd be like, God, I got to either make something happen so I'm open, or I'm going to end up just like Peoples-Jones.
But you still got David Bell, too.
Haven't seen him on the field.
Dude, nobody says anything. Like, that guy's a fucking, 3rd-round pick last year?
They tried to use Schwartz, and they finally dumped Schwartz because he could not catch the ball. Somebody just picked him up.
I saw that, too.
Was it Kansas City?
Was it? It might have been.
Something silly.
I don't know.
But then I saw Cade York got picked up by the Giants. Good luck.
Yeah.
We like
That
Hopkins.
fits. Well, the Giants are trying to lose. It's so funny now. All these teams are in a lose mode. Like there's like 4 or 5 teams that are already like in trying to lose mode.
For real?
Yeah, because Caleb Williams, like everybody's anointing this kid. Again, I feel like we've seen him against some really good teams this year in college football, and he looks pedestrian at best. Like, I don't think that he's worth the pick that they're talking about him having. Because there's a lot of talk about Chicago fucking taking him.
Really?
Yeah, Chicago taking him 1 and trading Fields away.
So who's this kid that's been tearing it up for Chicago?
Badgett? Yeah, dude, he's cool. Shepherd University, a Division II kid that came in. He was 4th or 5th when he got there. Basically was a 7th round pick. No real ambition. Fucking showed out in the preseason, and like so they graduated him all the way up to being the backup. Nobody could believe it. So now he's the guy that started the last couple of games. Fucking 2-2 in the 4 starts. He fucking 1-2 starts at home. Like he runs the ball well. I mean, don't get me wrong. You can tell he's a rookie. He makes some fucking throws that leave you fucking scratching your head, but he is a competitor. Like, have you seen the whole thing about his dad? 27-time world arm wrestling champion. And he's got a personality as big as that. His dad's awesome. His dad's like a fucking cartoon character come to life. Like he's this monster of a human being, just jovial and hilarious. And he's going on all these shows, arm wrestling people and just fucking embarrassing them. Like he fits perfectly. But like you see this guy and listen to him talking, and you're like, no wonder your son's not really fucking fazed by any of this. Like he fucking lived with a monster growing up. You know what I mean? Yeah. But his dad's so cool because his dad's like, my son knew growing up, things ain't easy. Shit's gonna go wrong all the time. It's how you react when shit goes wrong. I mean, a kid throws an interception last week against Carolina that's a pick 6, fucking gets the ball back, 4 plays, fucking touchdown. Fucking amnesia, which so many young quarterbacks, that's quicksand. You know what I mean? You fuck up once, now you're afraid of making a mistake, and you fuck up again. Next thing you know, your team's out of the game.
Yeah.
That's what we need DTR to not do.
Okay, well, listen. No matter what the Browns have in front of them
Yeah.
and what they do,
Yeah.
there is one rookie that is quickly, I don't know if he'll be able to hold on to this. I hope he does, because I watched him 2 weeks ago against, who the fuck was it? He just played the Bengals. Who did he beat the week before? It was fucking amazing. Oh, it was Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield.
Oh, yeah. You talking about CJ?
Oh, my God. This kid. And you called it. Yeah, you this is all you. You got this guy. Because I was like, well, we'll see. And this is a Buckeye kid that, of course, I love him. But at the same time, I don't know. He just, even as a freshman, he just always looked like he was just a little bit off. Something was just a little bit off. But obviously, he ain't off right now. And I'm going to tell you what, he is going off is what is happening. That game against Tampa Bay, holy fuck. Baker was magical, but he did what every quarterback and every team shouldn't do. He left more than 40 seconds on the fucking clock. And that kid CJ Stroud had one friggin' timeout. And I don't know how he did it, but all of a sudden, he's got 10 seconds on like the 16-yard line. Fucking money. And it wasn't even like a question mark. A freaking spot on a dime. Freaking nobody around the receiver. Like magic.
Dude,
Talk about.
He's the man. I'm telling you. Like
he did it again this week, right?
Yeah. He did it against Cincinnati. Cincinnati went down and tied it up.
Oh, it was a kick though.
But Cincinnati went down and tied it up with 1:15 left or whatever. He fucking marches them right down the field, chip shot, field goal, fucking game over.
Fucking awesome,
dude. I liked him. I liked him the whole time he was at Ohio State. I thought he was going to be really, really good as a pro. But that fucking Georgia game cemented it for me. When 9 of your 11 starters on defense are drafted in the first 3 rounds, with 5 of them going in the first fucking round, and that kid tuned them up that whole fucking game. It's like, okay. This guy's legit, and again, he
knew that was his showcase game,
and if they had a kicker, he wins a national championship. And I think they had to, the Carolina dude. I laughed, and I'll say it again. Bryce Young might be an okay quarterback at some point in the NFL. He is never going to be Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, C.J. Stroud, like Burrow. He's never going to be at that level. You can just see it. He just isn't that guy. Dude, Carolina's kicking themselves in the ass. They traded all that shit to get up to the fucking number 1 pick to take the wrong fucking guy. That's the best part. They have the worst record in the NFL. So if they would have waited 1 more year, they would have got Caleb Williams instead.
So how magical is Texas when you really look back on it?
You know if the playoffs started today, Houston's in.
Right. But how magical is Texas? they had Watson for a few years, and then, of course, we know what happened. But still, had that not happened, well, I guess they probably wouldn't have had C.J. Stroud still. But
No.
the fact that they have freaking nailed it twice, boom.
Yeah, dude, they're crushing it. Like, and that's the thing. I feel like Houston is an easy team for us to, like, I don't care if Houston wins. They're not in our division. You know what I mean? Like, there's no rivalry
No.
or anything there. You know what I mean? Like, they're another team that's been kicked around for years as one of the worst teams in the league. So to see them come out and knock off teams like this, fucking great. It's great for football. It's great for them.
Them and Detroit. Hallelujah.
Dude, Detroit's a problem.
Finally something happening good in Detroit.
Dude,
since
they're
the
good.
Pistons.
Dude, they're good,
Of course,
good,
maybe
good.
hockey. I don't know. They're pretty good in hockey.
But you look at them. What's the first thing you see if you actually look at their roster top to bottom?
I haven't, so I don't know.
You got 4 first-round picks on the fucking offensive line and 3 first-round picks on the defensive line. It's amazing how quickly that turns around a fucking team. You know what I mean? I know people get tired of me fucking preaching the offense and defensive line, but games are won on the fucking trenches.
You know why I like Detroit right now?
Because of Dan Campbell?
No. Oh, Dan Campbell. What a freaking... That guy, that's a man's man.
Dude, if you could here's a hard question. I want to hear what you have to say, but here's a hard question for you. If Stefanski retired right now and you had your choice between Dan Campbell and Robert Saleh, who do you take?
Probably would ask the Chin first because he's ready.
Cower?
Mm-hmm. He talks about it. The way you can see the passion. He wants to come back.
So if those were the 3 options, you're going to take the Chin over Saleh or Campbell?
He's got a pedigree, man.
Dude, Saleh is trying to salvage a season.
I don't know who Saleh is. Who is that?
The Jets.
Oh, that guy. I don't want that guy.
Oh my God, he's awesome. That dude is an incredible
He looks
head
like
coach.
Mr. Potato Head, and I don't want him.
On roids. Him and Campbell are both jacked.
No, I like the Detroit guy just because he's got that look that, like, man, I better not fuck this up. He might rip my head off, and I'm a jacked football player.
Yeah.
Woo!
There was a really cool episode of Hard Knocks where he did something. I forget what it was that he did. And, like, the punishment was 50 burpees. Dude, he did them right in front of the fucking team. Impressive. You're talking this guy's 50, 55, whatever he is.
Yeah, but he's
fucking monster, dude. I mean, don't get me wrong. By the time he got to the mid-40s, you could tell he was feeling it, but he's also a dog. You know what I mean? He wasn't just going to fucking roll over, fucking plowing through that shit.
mental toughness, man. I watched a few of those plays that last game when they went for it on like 4th and 2.
Yeah.
And they got it. And you just see, I mean, that you see coaches do fist pumps, and then you see those guys that just go, fuck yeah!
Right.
Like he wants to just engulf the whole planet.
Yeah. Did you see Stefanski actually yelled at an official this week? Did you see that? Like it was like in the 4th quarter. I forget what the call was over. I was like, yeah, holy, you have a pulse, dude. This is amazing. Look at you showing some fucking passion.
Yeah, it's not nearly as bad, but who was that offensive line head coach that we had that came from New England? Little round guy.
Oh, Romeo.
He wouldn't yell at nobody. And they used to joke, his brother would tell him, you got to throw the clipboard once in a while. But it wasn't his mentality. But that same thing with Stefanski.
Yeah.
He used to throw the clipboard once in a while.
I'll say this. It's been a fun year so far in the NFL.
I think he saved his job. What do you think?
Who?
Stefanski.
Yeah, I mean, I still think that they need to finish this season off.
You're telling me you lose your number 1 running back and quarterback, and you're still on the block after being 6-3?
I'm just saying, let's see how it finishes out here.
Because we all know, like you said, should be 8-1.
If true, but okay, let's say the wheels fall off now.
I hate that though. We shouldn't be anything. We
Because
are what we are.
You have some winnable games, but like Jacksonville's still on that schedule. You got Cincinnati again. You got Pittsburgh again. Dude, the Broncos back-to-back weeks. The Chiefs and the Bills. The Broncos have beat to where like these teams look like patsies on the schedule.
Right, but they're not going to be. I don't think they're that strong. I don't think they're that good. I think they're catching some teams at a bad moment.
I'm not arguing with that, but what I'm saying is you're going to have some games that are winnable that are probably going to be pretty close. So if the wheels fall all the way off this thing, you lose your next 4, right? You're 6-7.
It's possible.
You lose that locker room, I think he's out. You end up with a bunch of turmoil and a bunch of shit talking and stuff coming out in the media. I'm hoping it doesn't happen.
This is my point. Okay, if that's what you want to do, you want to like say that fucking fit hits the shan.
Yeah.
And you want to get rid of him. Don't do that unless you know you can get your guy.
I would tell you this. Not even just that. You got to have a guy that will run a really similar system.
Right.
Because the idea of taking this team, like this team is in its prime, right? You got some young kids, you got a few old guys, but the meat of this team, we're talking 26, 27-year-olds. You know what I mean? Like this team ain't going to be any better than it is right now unless you get some real different pieces magically. But like your defense is fucking loaded. Your offense has a ton of pieces. You know what I mean? It's like you're going to have to win.
I will tell you 3 things that happened in that Browns Ravens game that blew my mind. The first one was that out of bounds hit. It didn't get called. Now
it was close.
No, listen, hear me out. I'm all for that. Don't throw the flag. Great. I love that. But that may be the first time since they've come back in the expansion draft.
Yeah.
That call being that close has not been called on them.
Okay.
I'm not kidding you. I mean, when I saw that happen, I'm just waiting.
Yeah.
And then I'm waiting. And I'm waiting, and there's no flag. And then the announcer's like, no, it looked like he had 1 foot still in bounds when that happened. I'm like, I love that, because the very next play he threw a pick, it rocked him.
He did.
So
to the same guy that fucking clipped him. That was the best part of that.
Right. So that's play number 1. And then the 2 other plays that happened that just showed that the Browns wanted it more. It was the team push for another 10 yards, and it was Njoku.
Dude, that catch and plowed over that dude, fucking running like 9
he
yards
through
through
that
him.
guy like 9-10 yards, maybe more, and I don't know how he even tackled him. It was just like, it was so beautiful.
Right.
Woo!
Yeah. So, exciting game coming this week. Let's go.
Yeah, but it is.
Hey, man.
It's very deflating. But if this season hasn't done anything but prove that deflation isn't the end of the world, we still have a defense that can kick your ass.
Myles Garrett is still going to come out and be Myles Garrett.
He is you know what? Getting that Smith on the other end, and
You got to lock him up.
and a few more pieces.
You got to lock him up for a couple years. He needs somebody on the other end.
He has to. Holy fuck! It is so much fun watching the defense. My son says, "Dad, for Christmas, I know what else I want. I need a jersey." And I said, "Well, who do you want?" I said, "Do you want a number 2?" He said, "Well, I want somebody that's not going to leave." I said, "Well, Garrett just came out and said he's never leaving the Browns." I said, "You want a Garrett?" He goes, "Yeah, that'd be pretty cool."
He's the man.
So,
Yeah, and last thing for me on them, I don't even know their names off the top of my head, but I will say they're 2 defensive tackles.
yeah, I don't know.
That are
either.
like, I think the one is a
They're
rookie.
big boys.
I think one's a rookie and the other one's like a cast off that's played on like 3 teams.
Yeah.
Those guys are doing work.
Yes.
Billingsley, is that one of them?
I don't know.
I don't even remember their names, but like
You know what?
you don't see teams rushing up the gut for 9 yards at a time like happened to them for years.
And that's why I think their defense is clicking. You know, like 2 or 3 names. You know, Garrett, Smith, and Ward, maybe Newsome, and then the rest. Oh well, and not Njoku.
Dude, I don't know. Newsome and Delpit are both really good.
Yeah,
I like Delpit. I feel like Delpit's a way
Well, a lot of people-
underloved guy. Like that guy is fucking
a lot
awesome.
of people don't remember he didn't play for like the first 2 years
because he was hurt.
and he learned a lot.
Dude, Delpit's legit.
Yeah,
That guy's he's one of those players that he might not lead your defense all the time, but he has the ability to make like a game-changing play.
yeah.
Like I'm a huge fan.
Part of the just to wrap this up.
Yeah, and love Dustin Hopkins. Love you, Dustin Hopkins.
Oh my God,
Dude.
money. I mean, he did miss, but he was still.
He's gonna miss once in a while.
He was still 4 for 4 for the 3-pointers.
Here's the thing. Yeah, he missed that extra point. Even if he doesn't miss that extra point, though, they still have to score again to win the game. Right? So
Yeah.
either way, it's probably going to be on him one way or the other.
Amen.
And he did the kick after he had the weight of just missing one from 6 yards closer.
For our listeners, if you are Browns fans or you did watch the game and maybe you don't care, but if you like statistics, the Browns are one of the first teams that interception that Deshaun threw 30 seconds into the game. Wasn't much. It was the second play.
Yeah.
The Browns were losing for 59 minutes and let's just say 59 and a half minutes, maybe more.
Yeah. Because it
And
was
they-
down to the last play.
And they won the game as time expired.
So
So losing the game for
59-59.
almost the fucking whole game.
It was the whole game. It was 59-59. They only get credit for having the lead for 1 second.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they weren't losing to begin the game. Is what I'm saying. It took 2 plays to be behind.
Yeah.
So
Pretty
about
wild.
59 and a half minutes. Freaking crazy.
Yeah.
I don't remember that ever happening.
Is awesome. Not
Usually
for,
you
not,
have-
not for Cleveland, it doesn't.
No.
It goes the other way. There have been a lot of games Cleveland was winning the whole game, and with 4 minutes left, now they're losing.
Now, the last thing I want to say is,
'Kay.
I brought up officiating to begin my part of this.
Yeah.
Ward got speared. No flag, no call.
Yep.
Was out with concussion. How are these guys missing these? There's back
don't
judges. There's things happening, and he was in the play. He was going up there to tackle, and he got freaking slammed. How? It's not like he was away from the ball.
No, I agree.
How are we not?
I feel like there's still plays that get missed. Somehow, with all the replay and all the shit, there's still things that they're still fallible human beings.
Those type of things, when you see a guy on the ground, I don't know why. Like college, they'll go back and they'll look at that. They'll go back.
But you
and
can't
look
review every play.
No, but they'll go back and see. Was that targeting? Was that a
But
guy?
the college rule's kind of fucked up though too.
Maybe, but it makes it interesting. If a guy is concussed, maybe we should go back and just see. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
not.
Anyway, enjoy the second half of the NFL season. I'm still going with Kansas City and Detroit in the fucking Super Bowl.
Well, we made that almost the whole show.
Did we really?
That was the intro.
Yeah.
I love it. No, but it was good though, and it needed talked about.
Yes, it's been a while.
Let's get into something else.
Yes,
Podcast saturation.
there's so many.
We run a podcast.
Yeah,
We enjoy this. From the minimal feedback I've received, people enjoy the show.
yeah.
Haven't had too many, you guys suck, this is horrible. Most of the people that listen to us come back and listen to us again. Maybe not religiously, but whatever. But my question to you is being non-relevant to most of the world an issue? I mean, we enjoy this, and we're not gonna stop doing this. But the question is, I've seen things recently on my swipe left where there's a lot of celebrities that have their own podcasts.
Almost all of them do.
Almost all of them.
Sure.
A lot of saturation there. So if Jim Bob, your neighbor, wants to listen to a podcast, he's never going to find us. He's going to find, I'm just going to use it for instance, even though I hate it, but I saw where Ben Roethlisberger and the bus, they're on the podcast a lot together, and they're talking about old times. And if those were two of my heroes, I'd be like, man, this is really cool. They're talking about shit, and I mean, I don't know. Maybe at some point, listening to the old days would get old,
Yeah.
and maybe that's why maybe people like us, because not only do we do current events, we also do some fun things.
Sure.
But maybe I'm looking for some feedback from our folks.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm not saying like, should we continue? And that's not the question, because we're going to continue anyways. But maybe I just like want to hear from some folks. Like, no, please do it. Like, should we start working the social medias more?
Yeah.
To get out there more.
Yeah. If that's what you want, if you want more listeners, then yeah, like that's one of those things that we've talked about it to where we don't have a huge social media presence. We don't take the time to make sure that we're posting.
We tried
4
for
times
about
a
a
week.
year.
We did, but even at that, we didn't have that much content. We definitely didn't have the setup and stuff that we do now.
Right.
You know what I mean? To where it was a different time. But no, I think that the people that listen to us, it's because they found us. A lot of people are going to see our logo, and you're going to look at that logo with the American flag in the hand, and you're going to be like, this is either up my alley or this ain't up my alley.
Well, the
you know
hand
what I
has
mean?
changed though now.
It is. It's not. It is, but it's still
Now we're rocking.
right. It's still rock and roll in America.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're opinionated. I hope that the people that listen to our show, that they get something out of it. You know what I mean? Maybe you learn a thing or two. You know what I mean? We're always dropping stats and telling stories about things that we're learning and talking about, and at the very least, like one of the topics on the list for tonight, I don't know if we'll get to it, is like music from the 90s that we loved, you know?
Oh, we're getting to it, baby.
But like we might mention a song that somebody hasn't thought about in 20 years, and next thing you know, they're pulling it up on their Spotify and they're jamming on the way home to a song they hadn't thought about because they decided to listen to us for a little bit. You know what I mean? To where it's like, no, I mean, we do it for us. You know what I mean? But I also hope that people enjoy it and get something out of it. Even if the only thing they get out of it is, fuck you, you're fucking dumb. You know?
Listen.
It's an outlet.
When we started a couple years ago, actually it's, holy fuck, it was 18, wasn't it?
5 years.
Woohoo! And we are hit the 5-year mark. It was September. Woo! Happy birthday to us. When we started, we were on, at least I was for sure, on Twitter a lot more. And we were joining other podcast groups. It was kind of like a little bit of a fraternity, a little bit, where, you know, we're bouncing, we're using everybody else. And it was kind of like, for the most part, anybody that saw our posts and everything was just the other podcast.
Sure.
It was kind of silly like that. And we still have those groups. We could still do that. I mean, when I log into Twitter every 6 months, I'm like, I still see the updates from the groups because they haven't kicked us out.
Right.
Because at this point, we are long in the tooth for this game. But I guess where I'm thinking is, thinking at right now is, a lot of those podcasts aren't around when we started.
No, a lot of them have
Like
been gone.
our one friend, the Working Stiffs from Pittsburgh, they're not around. They dumped it after a couple years, but now some of that was in COVID because people just were like, well, this is not worth it.
Yeah.
So I get that. So COVID killed a few podcasts.
Sure.
And shout out to Danny Pollard. He's probably listening from the Working Stiffs.
That'd be cool. What's up, Dan?
Just remembered his name. Go Browns.
Right?
Who else? But now I'm thinking that the trend is now more celebrities, and I know it's not just now.
But that shit happens.
But it's been a while. So what I'm thinking is it's kind of like CrossFit and things like that. You know, the fads come, the fads go. Does that mean that, you know, Ben Roethlisberger and the Buses podcast they're gonna stop after 4 years? Probably not, because they have nothing better to do. But you know, some of that is gonna come and go.
Sure.
And maybe when we're still here and some of the dust settles, maybe by that time we'll have a little bit bigger following. Maybe we won't. Maybe it doesn't matter either way.
Right.
But I don't know. Just thinking out loud about podcast saturation, because there was 1 million of them, and there's probably 2 million of them now.
Sure.
I guess I just don't know how anybody picks a podcast anymore. Like I don't know. Are you still a Joe Rogan fan?
Yeah, I mean, I don't listen to him all the time.
I don't either, but still, if I had to pick one podcast, I would scroll through his list, pick out a few if I was going on a flight, and be like, boom. Even though they're 3 hours long, I could probably only listen to one.
Right.
But still, I would probably pick from his list.
Yeah.
Or a few people. I wouldn't go looking for a couple underground ones like us, is what I'm saying.
But there are people that's what they like.
Yeah.
They don't want to listen to celebrities fucking pushing dick pills and whatever else they're fucking into.
That's true.
They want to hear.
Have you heard an advertisement? By the way, this show is brought to you by Miller High Life.
Completely unsanctioned. They have no idea that Adam even exists or that he drinks the High Life.
The champagne of beer.
Miller High Life's gonna see this and be like, "We got Browns fans that drink this shit. What the fuck is this?"
Dude, Miller High Life's everywhere, and they're in movies too a lot. But
I know.
anyways.
I'm just saying.
All right, let's. So I don't know.
I love what we do. If anybody's got an opinion on it, you know, if you want to tell us that we suck and we should quit, tell us. If you want to tell us, hey, we're tired of hearing about fucking Cleveland sports, you know, when we record once a month, you know, we're trying to get back on a normal schedule here, but when we record once a month, we're catching up as friends. You know what I mean? We're kind of sharing our time with them. You know what I mean?
This is so. For those of you that want a quick history lesson of the Harper,
we've told this story a couple of times, but it's been a while.
Well, no, I'm not talking about where the name come from.
Okay.
But where the show idea came from. So Jake and I worked together for many, many years, over a couple of decades. And when Jake came into the office, and probably around that time, we would meet up making the coffee.
Coffee in the morning.
And, so we were, I guess you just say we're fortunate at the corp at the time. They didn't really give a shit if you went up and made your coffee and hung out for 15 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And then you made your way back to your cube and you did your work, and you busted it out for $7.45, whatever it is.
Sure.
But so we were fortunate. And then after a while, Jake's like, you know what? This is really kind of maybe not silly or stupid, but everything that we talk about in the morning, we could make a podcast about that. And we could just talk about water cooler basic shit.
Yep.
They make a podcast. And I'm like, well, I don't know nothing about doing a podcast. And I might not even have really known what a podcast was, but
Yeah.
we have found out, and here we are. But yeah, we'll might as well go into it. So then, you want to tell them about the Harper?
Oh, you can tell a story.
All right, so Jake and I were getting fucking shit-faced, or I should say, well lubricated over at the somebody's house at a housewarming party, and we were throwing the fucking corn bags, and we were probably the most annoyingest fucking team ever, because every time we would fucking throw the bags, it would land on the board, and we'd go Hopper, and it was all from the fucking streaming service,
Yeah.
the Hopper.
Yeah, it was from Dish Network when they first came out with the Hopper that you could record up to 4 shows at once, and they had all the commercials that were
The Boston.
They were based in Boston. It's the Hopper, the Hopper.
So every time we threw the bag, we'd say the Hopper. You know, even if we didn't get a cornhole or whatever. So we were so annoying. And then later on, when we finally decided, we're like, well, what about that one day when we were just yelling the Hopper all the time? And we're like, well, we can't do Hopper because it'll probably be, you know, even though we won't be anything, it's probably copyrighted.
Yeah.
So we did the closest thing. Now,
But even when you text me, you're like, "What's up, Hopper?"
yeah.
Like that's where it's kind of become like what we kind of use for each other. You
Yeah,
know
but
what I
it's
mean?
a HOPPA.
Right.
Hopper.
Right.
But that's what we use, and that's who we are. Even though we're the Harper, we should have just called it the Harper.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll change it.
But remember, there was kind of a because we're harping on things. Like it was kind of
Yeah.
like a
We
cool
did-
little play on words.
We did that because it just made sense.
Yeah.
A couple grumpy old men, kind
Right.
of, not really, but a little bit.
Yeah. Shit, we could probably sell the fucking name now. We got the fucking domain and shit for it. We could probably sell it.
Who wants it?
You can't get shit for fucking domains anymore like that.
What do you mean? They're expensive now?
Oh, there's so many that are fucking taken.
Oh, taken was, yeah. Well, the actual Harper, the Harper,
Harper's Bazaar.
the Harper.com is actually a guy that plays the fucking harp.
Well, yeah.
And that never pissed me off as much trying to find out. I'm like, so we had to do the Harper guys because that was just the next best thing that we could think of.
It fits us.
And so here we are.
It's fucking good shit.
All right. So the next one, I want to do this before we end this, which we have a few more minutes.
Do it.
So, favorite. So we haven't done anything like this in a while.
No, I don't care how long we go.
No, I don't. It's not about that. But we have not done a topic like this for a long ass time, and I
Right.
wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to go from on the edge of the cliff with the podcast saturation. Like, should we keep doing this? Obviously, we're going to. That's not really a question.
Right.
But then to something fun. People that are our age in their mid to late 40s.
Yeah.
Or anywhere around that. If you knew early 90s music.
Yeah.
Favorite. So for me, early 90s I was in high school.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you were in high school from early 90s to a little bit later 90s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I graduated in 98.
Yeah. So, this isn't like Led Zeppelin shit from the 90s. This is like new songs from the 90s. Didn't come out in the 70s.
Yeah.
What's your favorite high school song from the 90s? Do you have one?
Like one?
I mean, it's hard to do one. Like, when you heard it, it's like, this is... I like a lot of songs because I'm as guilty as that of anybody.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to say that one because I had a lot of them I enjoyed.
Yeah.
But for a few years, I would probably say this was probably my most favorite.
Which one?
The Red Hot Chili Peppers, Give It Away.
I'm not going to hate on that.
I mean, anytime you hear that, talk about an uplifting song that just makes you want to fucking punch somebody.
But that fucking whole album, it's on the Blood Sugar Sex Magic
Yes.
album. Dude, that whole album is fucking fire.
It's a cover to cover.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like they were already out before me. That's the album that put them on the map. And like it's so much different because everybody remembers Under the Bridge because Under the Bridge was like the kind of melodic, you know, like they've got some talent, but
It was like a ballad.
ballad, but like the ballad is fucking Chris walking around the fucking streets, fucking jacked with long hair, you know, and can actually sing. And then they go from that to
It's Anthony, but yeah.
Anthony. I'm sorry, wrong one. You know why I said that? I fucking had Soundgarden on the fucking brain there.
Yeah. No, I mean, so for me,
Yeah.
early 90s, I graduated 93. So early 90s,
Yeah.
I had a lot of favorite songs. Just told you my number one. I made, at that time, I was making fun of Pearl Jam. Not saying I didn't come around later.
I was gonna say that's a tough sell.
But but listen, it wasn't because I didn't like Pearl Jam. It was just that you could do any. I made a lot of fun of that. But
you could say the same thing about Nirvana.
no.
Horse shit. Did you listen? You get the Smells Like Teen Spirit album. You tell me that you can decipher 60% even of the words. No fucking chance.
Okay, that's true. But he had some songs that were like fucking 20 minutes, or not 20 minutes, 20 seconds of like, what the fuck did he just say?
Right.
Anyways, so I was making fun of Pearl Jam at that time. I know you're a big STP fan, and I like STP as much as anybody.
Say Interstate Love Song, if I had to pick one.
But early STP, before they like really became them, I'm not gonna lie. When I first heard it, I thought it was Kurt Cobain. I'm like, then when I found out it wasn't Kurt Cobain, I'm like, okay, so this guy is a really good artist.
Yeah.
But he's on the coattails. He's ripping them off.
Dude, fucking Scott Weiland is the fucking man.
No. When you watch how his stage presence and everything, he blew him away.
Like he was one of those guys that definitely benefited from the later before he passed away. But,
Yeah.
but like from when like they started doing like when you started to be able to find videos of like independent shows.
Have you seen his move on stage?
Yeah, but dude,
He's like a fucking snake.
But not even just that. Like he's one of those guys that like he doesn't have that all fucking studioed up voice. That dude walks out on stage for a regular show, sounds just like his fucking albums.
Well, I think he was a master of the voice.
Fucking beast.
He could have probably, there's some people that can mimic voices.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what early STP was. There are people that are like, you know what, Nirvana is making it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sound a little bit like them, so I can make it too.
I mean, that's how you get genres.
Right.
Like you get similar sounds in some ways.
But then they took off and did their own thing. But at the time,
Yeah.
I thought, well, this is just a Nirvana ripoff.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't really into Soundgarden yet, but now Soundgarden is like one of my all-time favorite bands.
Oh man, anybody that doesn't like Chris Cornell doesn't like music.
So at that time, I was all about the Chili Peppers. Obviously I liked Rush, but as far as new bands,
Yeah.
I was all about Chili Peppers. I wasn't even really that big on Alice in Chains. I really wasn't.
Oh man, really? Mm-hmm. I liked Alice in Chains from day one because they were a little bit different though too.
Very different.
They were much more melodic to it, and even when they got into some of their harder stuff, it's still high quality music. You know what I mean? It wasn't like it's just like, oh, we're just gonna beat louder and drum harder and strum faster.
Yeah.
Like it was still ass kicking fucking music to where like they're one of the few bands that I thought everything that they did would also transition really well into an acoustic set.
Yeah.
Because the music quality was there.
Oh, for sure. And
Huge
don't
fan.
get me wrong. I think everybody in the world was a Nirvana fan. If you
Yeah.
were in that age group.
Yeah.
I mean, I can remember arguing about who saw that Smells Like Teen Spirit video first.
Oh, it was fucking video. The video was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
In my day, in my group, we all wore Converse. And the opening scene is coming through the stands, and there's a dude tapping his
their foot with the
tapping his
Converse on.
And I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
and right away,
Like you were connected.
relate.
You were connected
relate. You're
just like that.
Okay, I'm gonna hang out here a few more minutes on MTV.
Right.
And then
And then you're like, what the fuck is that?
then you're like, bam, ba-dicka, bam, ba-dicka, bam, bam. You're just like, holy fuck, this is great.
Right. But I love like Nirvana. Nirvana is probably my favorite band from that era. But like song for song, like Stone Temple Pilots, I like a lot of their stuff is like higher end is like if you were going to pick individual songs off the list.
I mean, I am what I would consider an audiophile to some extent. I mean, not the deep end.
No, like
But somewhere in the middle.
yeah. Anything that was ever moderately popular.
And if you look at Smells Like Teen Spirit and you look at all the songs and you listen to that whole album, there was a lot of repetition. There's a lot of
That's the Nevermind album.
there's a lot of I don't know what to do next. A lot of their songs sounded the same on that album.
Ooh, I don't think so. I think when you pick them out that they don't.
But okay, maybe not.
Like you contrast that to something like Lithium, like that's a completely different. I mean, like I'm not even gonna dork out on the music portion.
Listen
of
to
it,
this. I'm
but,
gonna do this.
Those are two different wavelengths.
They might have done that like 4 times on the album.
But bass players are always going to be close to the same in every band. Like a bass player is almost like band specific. Like you try to come up with a band right now that their bass player is all over the board because they're not. A lot of them are similar rhythms.
But then
and
hear
similar
this
sounds.
too with the snare. I mean, they didn't have a lot of super creativity on that album.
Nirvana.
I think so. Now, when you get into the songs and the meat of the songs, they all take their own form. But
Yeah, I don't know, man. There was a special kind of magic
maybe
between
it's-
Kurt and Dave that's Probably never going to be
maybe-
replicated exactly.
Maybe it's just the beginnings of the songs that just get me. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. But no, I love the album.
A lot of guitar intros in their stuff. So like not everything starts with the drum.
Yeah.
Like most of like Smells Like Teen Spirit is a guitar riff to start. Lithium is a guitar picking to start. I mean, like it's different stuff.
I mean, I'm not picking it apart.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I played the shit out of it.
I will say one thing I kind of agree with you on, but like just a little bit. Like I like Pearl Jam, like especially now. Like in retrospect,
Yeah.
Pearl Jam's off the charts.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like was, do you remember when the 10 album came out?
Mhm.
It's got Jeremy and
Yeah.
all that stuff on there. It was so fucking overplayed. I was like, I can't listen to this anymore. Not because I don't like it,
Yeah.
but because I need to hear something different. You know?
See, one of my favorite songs is, I don't even know what the fucking album's called. It's the album with the sheep on the cover, and it's called Go. And I just like it. It's a lot of drums.
Yeah.
And it's different. It's different Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite Pearl Jam songs. I can listen to that all day.
Yeah.
But
I like a lot of their
it's
abstract
not on
stuff.
it's not on their biggest album.
No, like, did you ever listen to the Yield album?
I don't know.
It had Wish on it. Like Wish was like kind of like their last kind of like mainstream hit, you know?
Yeah.
And like that was the only song that really like did amazing off of it. I love that album because it's a bunch of really, really good music.
Yeah.
You know, it's not all poppy clicky that's gonna
So,
draw them
do you
in.
have a song that you can pinpoint more than others?
If I had to pick one from that era, it would be Interstate Love Song.
Okay.
Like, cause like what I always loved about that song is like it's got that rock to it, but it feels like you know that scene in like a football game where it's like it's a big Saturday night college football game at the end of the season. You know, we're playing for the SEC championship, and like the players in the
Why
tunnel.
can't it be the Big Ten?
Whatever. I'm just saying the players are in the tunnel, and you know they're fucking ready to go, and they're just waiting for that fucking signal to come out to where it's like you feel this energy that's not. It's not the wave breaking. It's the build of the wave.
Yeah.
And that song is like that the whole time to where I used to lift to that song. I used to run to that song because you can hold a rhythm to it, but it's not like, rah, it's just like, do, do, da, 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 you know, just holds that fucking line fucking hard, you know?
They had some really good songs. And if you haven't listened
man.
to STP, I suggest you get on Spotify, look up STP, and listen to the top 10 songs. You'll fall in love.
Yeah. I will say another song that I would have to put right up there though would be Tonight Tonight by the Pumpkins. I love the Pumpkins, and like they were one that like when Bullet with Butterfly Wings came out, you know, despite all my rage, like they're so just in your face, and then you back up and you listen to a song like Tonight Tonight, fucking amazing. Like there's an orchestra playing along with this super metal fucking rock band and just fucking destroying it.
I wouldn't say metal, but
Oh no, like you go back to their early stuff before they actually like hit the vein, dude, they were fucking metal. Like you listen to him. Like they were fucking hard edge all the time. And then like you had like you know, like 1979, like shit like that. They like you got to see the edge come off just a little bit.
okay.
You know, I will ask you one question. Like,
Sure.
not that it's a favorite, but just a question for you. There was one band from that era that was fucking huge. I just didn't understand. I tried, and I could not listen to Korn. I never understood the fucking
They were
draw.
later, though. Later in the 90s.
I don't think so, man.
I think so.
No way, dude. They're like early 90s into mid 90s.
I mean, maybe. Mrs. R loves Korn.
Really?
Yeah.
I just want to
You know-
know. Like,
you know
I
what?
I just don't understand the attraction with the music.
It's mental health problems is what it is.
Yeah?
I mean, seriously. They're just different, and I think the people that just want something different,
Yeah.
that's for them. Like they were on tour with Limp Bizkit. So yeah, you're definitely right. It was the 90s. Because 94 I think was that crazy ass Woodstock that went
Where Bush saved him. Because Korn almost ripped the fucking roof off of that place, and then the following night
No.
it all fell
No,
apart.
it was
No, that happened.
Limp Bizkit.
No. Limp Bizkit was when it finally fell off the cliff. The night before, most people don't remember this. The night before, Korn fucking had that place lit the fuck up. Well, everybody was bitching about it at the time because they didn't have them as the closer. Like everybody was there to fucking see Korn, right? Like Korn was like one of the 2 or 3 hugest draws there, but they had him as the number 2 band, and then Bush finished out the night, right? So you get fucking what's his ass, Gavin
Rossdale.
Gavin Rossdale. And he fucking mellowed the whole fucking set out.
did.
to try to fucking
But
bring
then the next
everybody
day,
down.
the next day it was
When Limp Bizkit fucking
then-
lost their mind.
And yeah, and everybody fucking give me something to break.
Right.
And they did. They fucking broke the place.
Yeah.
Uh,
But at the same time, I will like we'll talk about Woodstock another time. We'll stay on 90s music.
yeah. So yeah, no.
You know, was there any? Let me ask you this: were there any songs from the early, mid, any time in the '90s, like something that's definitely a '90s song that wasn't in the rock vein, like something that was a little bit more on because if you live anywhere near Cleveland, like stations like 93.7, 94.1, 102.1, 104.1 back then, 106.1, there was a lot of like easy listening that was more like the poppy kind of end of stuff. Was there anything like that you liked, or were you just pure rock and roll?
No, I mean,
Like the Natalie Imbruglias
I
of the
was gonna
world?
say Natalie-
Jewel?
Natalie Imbruglia loves rubber baby buggy bumpers. Say that. We used to do that.
Right.
No, I listened to Jewel.
Four Non Blondes?
Jewel was, oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Four Non Blondes for sure.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't just stuck in one vein at all.
Yeah.
Um,
I was just curious if you liked any of that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
We don't ever really talk about that kind of music. I love
Tracy Bonham. Remember that girl?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
She had one hit wonder.
Yeah.
Mother.
Yeah.
How's the family?
Right. Meredith Brooks and her one hit that will never die.
Oh.
All rolled into one.
I wish that one never came out.
Melissa Etheridge. I'm the only one. Dude, how many times did we hear that fucking song?
I'm the only one.
Dude, I will never forget. I was so pissed off. I was driving home from Fazoli's. I worked at Fazoli's in high school, right? I'm driving home from fucking Fazoli's one night with do you remember the radio in your car where you set the dial and then you set the push button? So it actually moved the radio dial with the push button. It wasn't digital.
Yeah.
Right? So I fucking get it on fucking 94.1. Please, baby. I'm like, motherfucker, fuck this, rock and roll. 97.5. My mind's I'm like, motherfucker. Are you kidding me? 97.5? Fucking ridiculous. Fucking Melissa Etheridge on both.
That's what. That's when Aerosmith said. That's when you know you make it, or you've made it. As a when you
Aerosmith. See, dude, I didn't even think about that.
when
vein.
you hit the radio and you're
Yeah.
on, and then you go to the next station.
Yeah.
and then
You're
you
on
can't-
again?
You can't find a station
Yeah.
you're not on. You've made it.
Dude, if we were doing like a top 5, another song that would go way, way up there would be Living on the Edge.
Yeah.
Dude, I love the Get a Grip album. And that's what, 93, 94, somewhere around in there.
And then there was Pump. That had some really good songs.
Yep. But dude, that Get a Grip album, there's like 5 or 6 songs that just fucking like crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just
Great
fucking
song.
Dude,
Do you know-
amazing. The Alicia Silverstone
Go
song?
go back into those songs like Amazing.
Yeah.
Because he'll talk about them.
Yeah.
Basic song building techniques, like Beatles using the harmonies and stuff.
Yeah.
You hear that in those songs.
Oh, yeah.
It's cool.
Absolutely, man. I'm glad you clicked on Aerosmith right there. Like there because I
Yeah,
was
they're not really a '90s band, even though they had a lot of songs come out in the '90s.
But they were a band. They were one of the few bands I feel like because they came out in the 70s, right? Like the late 70s. But
they had a revival.
that Get a Grip album opened them to a whole new fucking audience.
But what actually revived them?
Armageddon.
Run
Mo-
DMC.
Well, no, that gave them
No,
gave
that
them
brought
street
them
cred.
back.
No, that gave them street cred.
It wasn't just Street Kid. They weren't even doing nothing.
They were trying to basically be they were trying to be a hair band for a minute. And that's where they brought Run DMC in and actually got into the music and everybody was like, okay, these guys are legit. And then like they kicked ass with Get a Grip and then that's when they got to do the Armageddon soundtrack and then legend from that point on.
Yep.
Sucks that they're not going to finish that tour the way it sounds. Fucking poor Stevie's fucking voice is finally shitting out on him, you know?
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we already did the state of the NFL.
Yeah.
That's done. I just want to get into at least one more,
Yeah, do it.
because the last one we can save for later.
Unless that's the one you want to do. It doesn't matter to me.
No, I really want to do this next one.
Okay.
Karma.
Yeah.
Karma's a big thing. I don't know in your life if you have stepped back and noticed when karma's a thing.
Yeah, I think it is a lot.
Some people don't believe in it. Some people believe in it a lot, believe in it very heavily.
Yeah.
Had some, I'm not going to go into detail, but I had some things happen quite recently
Yep.
that it's a big thing. And
You watch somebody get some karma that they probably had coming.
well, it's kind of like this. Like I said, without getting into too much
You don't
details.
got to give details. That's
No,
fine.
I'm just going to kind of like put it into paint a little picture.
Yeah.
So
Use a parable.
somebody, actually completely does something to you on purpose, and they want you to see this thing, or they want you to know how much they don't like you one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like one of these things where, wow, that's pretty childish, and it's going off the deep end.
Yeah.
You don't see this a lot, and you wonder. And I remember after said thing or something like this happened, I remember telling my wife, I mean, literally, don't worry. This is and this has actually happened to me. Karma is going to happen to this person.
Sure.
I said, I have been involved in certain things like this, even when I have been, communicating this way or whatever, and almost, boom, something bad happened to me. I mean, it doesn't always work that fast, but this took a little bit of time, and all of a sudden, boom, it's like, you can't believe it. It takes a precedence. I don't know. I wish I could get into more detail, and I will later.
Yeah, it's
But
okay.
Right now, I want to keep my karma up high by not talking about it too aggressively. But it is really cool when it works out. When you stay passive aggressive,
Yeah.
and you don't stoop to somebody else's level,
Yeah.
and they just basically dig their own hole.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Like you hear, yeah, you ever hear certain people like make the comments like, oh, if it wasn't for bad luck, I wouldn't have no luck at all.
Yeah.
And then other people that it seems like doesn't matter what's going on, oh, we got our room upgraded at the hotel last week, and oh, we went to the Browns game, and this lady with a microphone came up to us, and they moved us from the upper deck down to 6 rows from the field at the 40-yard line. You know what I mean? And like people that go both ways on that. How many people that always say they have no luck but bad luck are positive people, and how many people that fucking get all the cool shit happening to them are negative people?
Not many.
It's like zero on both ends of that.
Yeah.
To where like I believe that karma is something that you put off in your life.
Yeah.
It's karma to me is an energy. You know what I mean? If you're putting your energy into fucking shitting all over people, you know what I mean? Eventually somebody's going to put a whole bunch of energy into shitting all over you back.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, life's going to shit on everybody at some point. Life's fucking hard. Anybody that thinks this is going to be fucking easy isn't fucking very smart about what's going
They're
on here.
17.
Right. Like life's going to be fucking hard. But I'm a huge believer of putting stuff out there, because here's the thing too. I think as you start to get a little bit older, into your late 30s, 40s, and beyond, you start to understand that character matters a lot. You know what I mean? And if you are a person of high character, there's a pretty good chance you're putting a bunch of good karma out into the world, doing stuff for people that can't really do anything for you. You know what I mean? You don't do stuff just always expecting something in return, like, and to me, like, that's where karma lies,
Yeah.
If you're the person that's stealing a 10 out of the fucking offering plate as it goes by, you know what I mean? Like, that's you putting your shitty karma out in the world, because that's the mentality in the space that you're in, and when you live in a negative space, you're going to get negativity back.
Well, and not that bad things aren't going to happen to somebody that goes to church every single Sunday and Wednesday and lives right every single day. I mean, I remember my aunt, God rest her soul, out in Phoenix, they were those people. They did everything by the book, treated everybody well as best they could. Then her husband got cancer, and and they dealt with that, and then she died a few years later. But it's like, I remember when my uncle got cancer, and she's just like talking to my mom, like, does this happen to us? We don't do any wrong, but so bad things are still going to happen to good people.
Of course.
But
And good things are still going to happen to assholes.
yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I agree. If you are living right will happen way more than bad.
Right.
You would at least hope, anyways.
Right.
There are going to be some anomalies.
Right.
There's going to be some great people that just have to work extra hard.
Yeah. I mean, karma. Karma is the golden rule. You know what I mean? You treat people the way you want to be treated. Most of the time, I think it ends up working out. Sometimes it don't. Sometimes bad shit happens, People lose their job that weren't trying to lose their job, for whatever reason, a company shuts down,
Yeah.
But those are the same type people that when that stuff happens, if you've been a good person your whole life, all of a sudden, Jimmy, 3 doors down, finds out that you're out of work, and, hey, I know a guy that's hiring,
Here's a good example. You could work somewhere for 30 years. No, we've seen it.
Yeah.
You and I have seen it.
Yeah.
And you can be the most soft-spokenest person, hardest worker. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And boom, pink slip.
Yep.
Because you're getting a little long in the tooth.
Yep.
And it's like, those people that are making those decisions, maybe they sleep okay at night. You wonder what happens to them. They're having some bad days. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I think that depending on what the position is, I mean, I don't think that those people they try to separate what they look at as karma and what they look at as business.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
But still, I mean, sometimes it's a fine line, in my opinion.
Yeah.
As the peon,
Yeah.
when peon friends or peon people that you know that aren't running the business,
Yeah.
you're like,
You hate to see
you
it.
see it a lot,
You know?
and it's unfortunate, and that kind of almost is a perfect segue into the last topic
Yeah.
about it being appreciated.
Yes.
Let me put my spectaculars on one more time. So, being compensated accurately for what you do is important for anybody. If you're doing job A and job A should be at, this compensation, you'd want to be there.
I agree.
Right, yeah. So, that's important. But I feel like through my experiences in the last couple years, that being appreciated is what brings you back.
Sure.
And it doesn't mean that my boss has to take me out and buy me drinks and a dinner and lavish and, all this other stuff. No, it's just once in a while, if I am doing a good job, I don't want to be one of these shitty workers that like, hey, I need some praise over here. But if you work your tail off every 6 months even, it doesn't have to be a lot.
Yeah.
Say, hey, I just want to let you know you're doing a good job. Keep it up.
Yeah.
That'll keep you coming back.
But I don't think that that's limited to work.
No, but I'm talking about at work.
See, when I looked at this topic, I was thinking outside of it.
Yeah, that too.
I feel like that's one of the number one reasons marriages fail.
Maybe.
You don't appreciate each other, and even whatever appreciation you have sometimes doesn't get vocalized.
100%.
I think that making sure that, I feel like as much as we like to be appreciated, you know what I mean? It's like you just said, you're crushing it. You're working the extra hours, you're taking care of people. You're taking care of problems, knocking stuff out, doing everything right for the company, Yeah, those attaboys are nice. But when you go through a period at home, that for some reason, because relationships are never going to be 50-50. It's all about each of you giving you 100%.
Anybody
right?
that's been married for a while knows it's hard.
Right, but when you spend 3 weeks where you've done all the running with the kids and you're picking up the groceries and you're making the dinners and you're just making sure that the other half is getting through whatever they're getting through, after a couple weeks, a month of that, for them to turn at you and say, thanks for being a rock for this last month. I really appreciate you doing everything for our household. This is one of the reasons I love you.
Yeah.
That shit, you're fucking ready to do it for another fucking month. You know what I
Sure.
mean? Fucking
Amen.
smack me on the ass and set me
Yeah. When I came up with this was more about
more about work.
More
I'm just
about
saying,
work. But no,
things develop as we're talking.
that is 100%. And
But whether it's a friend, think about it as a friend. You ever have those friends that you're friends, but you have that friend that always is the fucking taker? It's all if he comes to your house, he's drinking your beer. If you're going out, he wants you to fucking pick up a tab. If you got something, he wants to fucking borrow it and not return
I probably
it.
wouldn't have that friend very long.
But you don't keep friends like that.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It's all got to be symbiotic and appreciation for who
mean-
that person is.
I think you and I are a great example of that.
Yeah.
We fight at the fucking drive-thru when we're picking up Arby's. Who's going to buy?
Right.
That's how it is.
Right.
So no, yeah. Even that's appreciation, right? No.
Yeah.
You bought last time. I'm buying now.
Right.
Because I appreciated it.
Right.
Things like that. But getting back to the job thing, that's one of the main reasons I left an employer after 27 years was lack of appreciation. And it wasn't that I was getting negative. Well, no, it actually was. It wasn't because I didn't think I wasn't doing a good job. I knew I was, and I was way more responsibility than I ever had. But there were some new people that came in, and I'm just going to give this one example real quick because it's important to really understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
We had remote facilities, and it was a 13-hour drive.
Yeah.
I drove a bunch of equipment down, which that's not easy. It's not hard the first couple hours, but when you're on the road for 13 hours
By yourself.
it toting, I don't know how many hundreds of pounds of equipment down, there's a lot that can go wrong. It's stressful. Anybody, even if you're driving with your family, even though it's fun, it's still stress.
Sure.
You get down there, you have to work, you only have 4 days to get certain things done. You have to work almost 11 hours days at times
Get it all done.
to get things done. And I can remember, and at this time, we had these 9 a.m. meetings. And I remember messaging the person above me saying, hey, I'm not going to be able to make these because we just have way too much to do. We have 4 days. We're at a remote facility. You would think the people in charge would be like, dude, do whatever you got to do.
Right, you're out of town.
Do whatever you got. You're not sleeping in your own bed.
Yeah.
You know, you're away from your family. Do what you got to do.
Sure.
So missed those meetings in the morning, and they were dog shit meetings. This is like, okay, we're meeting with the, and we're going to go over what we have to do today. I'm not even doing any of that. Back at home, back at HQ.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. I got stuff we're doing. This is what we're going to do. No,
Sure.
I'm doing something else. So the boss at this point should take over and be like, all right, he's busy. So
Yeah.
I got this week.
Sure.
So you do this, and then literally, and it's no joke, working 11-hour days, taking 30-minute lunches, really busting your ass because you have to.
Yeah.
You've got 4 days and you got to get back. And then being told that you're not meeting expectations because you missed those meetings that were unnecessary. Mm-hmm. And what that does is it plants a seed in your head that not only am I unappreciated, they give no value to what I just did. The backbreaking work that, yeah, of course, I accrued the time and I made overtime doing it. But without that overtime, none of that shit got done. And, that goes a long way. And that is literally one of the reasons why, of course, I wanted to make a little bit more money and everything else. And there was more variables. But at the same time, that was probably the number one reason why I left. That one thing, and of course there was probably a couple other ones, and I know there was because I had a couple arguments with people that should have never happened. When you're arguing with your brother or your maybe I don't know, even your spouse, like arguments that happen at home, when you're doing that with your boss and it just gets out of hand because they won't stop it, that just kind of shit's weird.
Yeah.
And
Just doesn't have a place.
no,
to
and
work.
and I can remember not talking with him for like 2 weeks because he used to come by and joke with us, and I'm like, no, I'm head down, I'm working now.
Yep.
It's so the appreciation factor as a boss. If you're a boss out there and you're listening to me right now, just appreciate your workers, especially the good ones.
If you're gonna, I think that they need to remember that if you're gonna be critical, especially of something like that, okay, but you better take stock in what they're doing for you.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's like,
If I'm literally sitting in the corner of the room, not doing fucking shit,
yeah,
bust my balls all day long because I'm not doing anything for you.
right.
Or fire me. But when you have an employee, and I'm not a perfect employee. I have my flaws. I make my mistakes, but I also own up to them. But you just have to. It's just appreciation. That's just what it comes down to.
I agree.
So I don't know if you have anything else to add to that, but
No, I agree. I think appreciation is something that if somebody gives it to you every day, there's
No.
there's no luster to that.
That's not real.
That's where it all feels fake. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But like on a routine basis, especially if you are reporting to another person.
and see, even in that situation where I'm talking about, I didn't even need a pat on the back. I knew I was doing a good job.
Right.
I didn't need, but when you're told that it's the other way, it's like, what the fuck?
But even just an attaboy, like it don't have to be anything over the top. You know what I mean? Like, hey man, good work down in Buford.
Done.
They're like just that easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be, oh my God, you did so much great work. Oh my God, I saw those connections, best connections ever.
See, and
like you don't need that
The
shit.
funny thing about that trip too
Yeah.
was that I'm not gonna bring him up because he was as pissed as I was. But I went down with another tech, and prior to this, we got down there on a Monday. We wanted to be there, or maybe it was a Tuesday. We wanted to be there on Sunday
Yeah.
when this worked because we had a third-party company coming in to set shit up, and we said, no, we need to be down there when they're there
Yeah.
because we don't want to have to redo anything.
Sure.
We showed up on Tuesday when we were only allowed to be there, and it was all fucked up because these wiring, where the wires go to the junction boxes,
Yeah.
they have to be in a certain spot, and we have a protocol that we told them where to put it, but guess what? We weren't there. So the big guy comes back and says, we can say this now. He's not even with the company anymore. He comes back and he says, you should have had. It's like somebody that always has an answer for something. You should have had morning meetings with them every day. no, you should have just let us come down so we would have been here to get everything done. So they had to so we had to waste another, I think, almost full day for them to move everything.
Yeah.
Hilarious, but at the same time,
Infuriating.
there was nothing that could have happened that would have been his fault.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No.
Take some responsibility, bro.
You would think at some point.
But later on, not even 3 years later, that person loses their job. For whatever reason it may be.
Yeah.
Maybe karma.
Could be karma.
But
No. But I do agree. Like, it's a very important part, you know what I mean? Especially to keeping people for a long time. You know, there's going to be ebbs and flows in a work relationship, just like a home relationship.
Sure.
You know? And you're proof positive. I mean, it's not like every person at that company pissed you off or was an asshole to you. It only takes a couple in the wrong positions to make good people leave.
It's unfortunate. And I mean, for working at that company for 27 years, there was probably 3 people that I really despised. It wasn't that many. I mean,
No.
that's probably pretty good. I mean, there was probably more that I probably didn't want to talk to, but I mean, I'm talking about despised. You know who I'm talking about.
I do.
But at the same time, that's not bad.
Oh.
I mean, that's not bad. Because we all know there's going to be assholes and people that you don't want to deal with
Sure.
on a daily basis, and they might rub you the wrong way. And they might just do it because it's fun, because they
Right.
know they get under your skin. Whatever the reason, we still have those people in our lives today, good or bad.
Right?
It is what it is. But if they're working for you, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know. I never even got a lot of praise most of the time. But just not hearing the negative shit. Don't tell me I'm doing a bad job,
Right.
especially if I'm not.
No.
But
I mean,
anyways.
like, do you remember, you know, like the old superintendent that we had, the old plant superintendent?
Yeah.
That guy was a fucking hard nut as a hard nut came. But if you went out there and you fucking kicked ass for him, you know what I mean? They got an order that they're trying to get it out and you fucking rocked it out. He'd give you an attaboy. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It wasn't a long conversation. You're going to get 2 sentences tops, but that's all you needed.
One time, back in the heyday of being a young rook at that place.
Yeah.
I mean, you were there running the packing line.
Yep.
And there he was, and it was near Christmas, and a lot of times you had to work 12s during those times because
All the old guys were off.
your well, no, not just that. Your customers knew you were going to be shut down for a week, so they ordered double and triple because they knew they had to get stock because plus it's the holiday season and they sell more. Back in the good old days, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I didn't run the packing line very often, or being the lead packer or whatever, but man, I had those fucking guys ripping it, and it was only for a couple days. It wasn't even like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But he looked over and he just did the thumbs up, and I'm just like, that's all I needed.
Yeah.
I want to go harder now.
Right. Pick it up, boys. You know? But it was genuine.
Yeah.
That wasn't, he didn't do it because he had to.
No.
He genuinely appreciated that you got that shit done because it was going to make his job easier on the
Yeah,
other
I was
end.
gonna say that shit's ready to go to the die cut, or no, it already went to the die cutters, but it was ready to go to wherever it's got to go in the shipping world, and
Yep.
and that's that.
Yep. So,
good stuff.
appreciate the people in your life, y'all.
Amen.
Boom. Hey, thanks so much for joining us. Kind of a long show, but it's good to catch up with everybody. We haven't talked about it much tonight, but don't forget mental health, especially coming into the holiday season, super, super critical. If you're really struggling, you don't know what to do, pick up the phone, 1-800-662-4357. Somebody will be on the other end of that line to help you.
Absolutely. So if you're having bad thoughts about hurting yourself or others, or just can't kick that substance abuse, call the number. Somebody will be there.
Boom. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again real soon.
Bip, bip.
Cheerio. We'll eat the